I think by law I'm required to like any ability which has a horse for its picture. Welcome to the Kick Proficiency. Hello, I'm Raging Amish, and this is Kick in Modern Warfare 3. Since this is my first proficiency review, I just want to put out a minor disclaimer. These reviews will be naturally short, so I will do my best to cover 2 at a time. With that said, on to the review. Modern Warfare 3 features a total of 10 proficiencies, but the first one you're going to run into is Kick. Every primary outside of the Riot Shield will earn Kick at level 4. The effect of this ability is pretty straightforward. Kick directly reduces your recoil profile by 20% in each direction. When guns have way too much recoil, this proficiency will help you handle the kicking.
Kicking? Oh, I want to do some kicking!
Kick is pretty straightforward in terms of use. Pick a gun where you think reduced recoil will come in handy, and that's it. The hardest part about Kick is deciding whether your primary actually needs this ability. Most primaries have 6 proficiencies in total, so you may have to make a tough call. It's impossible for me to give a recommendation that will work for every player out there. To one person on a particular gun, Kick will seem like a waste, but to the next, it's a mandate. Still, here's some good general tips that have worked for me. In my opinion, Kick is best when used on the SMGs and the majority of the assault rifles. I realize this is a very general statement, so I will clarify. In the assault rifle tier, I think the CM901 and the G36 stand to gain the most from reduced recoil. Guns like the M4A1, SCAR, ACR, AK-47, the Mark 14, and the FAD also benefit from Kick, but not quite as much as the 2 I previously mentioned. Forget using this proficiency on the burst fire rifles. The recoil is already low on these guns. I tried Kick on both, and I thought it was an awful fit.
You a crap!
As for the SMGs, all will benefit from Kick. I like mixing in steady aim with this proficiency when possible. You can be lethal when firing from the hip or when aiming down the sight. You have the luxury to decide how you want to fight. To me, the PM9, MP5, and the UMP45 stand out as the main SMGs that will benefit from Kick. Also, the P90 and the PP90M1 will benefit from reduced recoil, but not as much as the first 3 I mentioned. As for the MP7, I will argue that Kick is a decent choice, but even I'll admit, I'm probably in the minority on this one. Since we're on the topic of the SMGs, here's one more tip. If you pick the rapid fire attachment, definitely consider this proficiency. Kick and rapid fire go hand in hand. Feel free to experiment with this ability on all of the SMGs and the assault rifles. I have given you my take, but experience will be your best tool for figuring out if you really need this ability or not. Sometimes the answer will be yes, sometimes the answer will be no.
No, yes, no, yes. No, yes!
I can tell you this much though, do not bother with this proficiency on the shotguns, LMGs, and the snipers. The shotguns gain almost nothing from reduced recoil when aimed down the sight. You should be firing these primaries from the hip, preferably with steadying. As for the LMGs, Kick will be an okay fit, but you have an attachment option which outclasses this proficiency entirely. The grip reduces recoil by 25% and visual kick by 10%. I will remind you, the Kick proficiency only reduces the base recoil by 20%. As for the snipers, this proficiency isn't really a bad choice, but you have better options elsewhere. I will make one exception though. The RSAS gains a lot from Kick since the weapon is semi-automatic and typically needs 2 shots to kill. All in all, the Kick proficiency is a nice addition to Call of Duty. Arguably, this bonus is better than some of the perks with their base and pro versions combined. Excuse the cliche, but Kick will be a reliable go-to if your gun kicks like a mule.
I hate that cliche.
I'm not going to call Kick the end-all be-all proficiency, but the ability is undeniably helpful. It's a nice fallback option for when the other abilities just don't appeal to you. That concludes this review of Kick. Seeing as this is my first proficiency review, I will be posting my second for this week shortly. The subject will be focus. Until then, this is Raging Amish, checking out.